How to document requirements. So you started on a project, and one of the first things they ask you to do is to document requirements. And then you walk away from the meeting feeling like, oh snap, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, how do you document requirements? What even constitutes a requirement? Where do I even start looking for requirements? Then some wild thoughts start coming in your mind and you start feeling overwhelmed. And you're like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to document requirements. Everyone is expecting me to document requirements. I don't know how to document requirements. I'm going to look incompetent and everyone is going to blame me because the project is going to fail because I don't know how to document requirements.
It's just gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, okay? Oh my god.
So you had your little freaking out episode. And then you got a hold of yourself and decided to look it up on YouTube. And here we are. Calm down. I'm going to help you. You have found the right video. By the way, I'm Karaleise and I have over 10 years of experience working as a business analyst in different industries. I am happy to share that experience with you so that you can grow your business analyst career as well. By the end of this video, you will know how to document requirements, but you'll also know how to uncover requirements and where to start documenting requirements when you get any project that lands on your desk. So keep watching, okay? Also, thank you for clicking on this video. Great choice, by the way. At Karaleise Business Analyst Training, we have lots of resources for you. We have YouTube videos that talk about requirements, talk about Agile, talk about Waterfall, talk about Jira, talk about so many things. So go and check out our channel and see what else you can learn from us. We also have a book called the Business Analyst Job Market Report. There we have studied over 43,000 business analyst jobs. They've looked at jobs across different industries. We've looked at business analyst jobs across different geographical locations, and we've put it all together for you in this report that will help you to land your next business analyst job. We also have a website, karaleise.com, and there you can find templates, you can find articles, you can find courses, but you can also find this fit test. And this is a test you can take right now that assesses your natural behavior to see if you're a fit for the business analyst job. And we also have consultations. So if you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, you want to get a personalized help for you to start your career, book a consultation today and we can have that conversation. So we've got tons of resources to help you start and grow your business analyst career. So let's get started first by knocking these requirements documents out of the park. Okay, so let's start with what makes a requirement a requirement. A requirement is a feature that a product or service must have in order to be useful to stakeholders. And that's coming straight from the BA Times. Let's take the Subway sandwich example. Let's say you got a task to write requirements for a sandwich and you have no idea what a sandwich is. How to document requirements for something you have no idea about. So if you were asked to document requirements for a sandwich, where would you start? Well, you probably could start by looking at the documentation, right? Great idea. So you go on to Google and search up the definition of a sandwich. And what do you know? Google has an answer. And so you find the definition there. But where else could you look to find requirements on sandwiches? Let's see. Maybe you could look at the Subway website since they're very popular for sandwiches. So you go on the Subway sandwich website. So nowhere on the Subway website does it tell you the definition of a sandwich, but it does give you very useful information that can help you know how to document requirements. You notice that there is a menu, and one of the menu options is sandwiches. That is very distinct from wraps and other options on the menu. When you click the sandwiches option, you notice something right away. All the images for sandwiches have something in common. There are different types of bread on top and bread on the bottom. And the only difference between each type of sandwich are the things in between the bread. So then you note the difference between the options in the menu, and you see that a sandwich is not a wrap, even though they are similar. You might go to a few other websites to check out what they say about sandwiches as well. So what did we just learn to help us know how to document requirements? Well, we learned that one of the quickest things you can do to uncover requirements is to research. So here's the number one tip on how to document requirements. Review the documentation that already exists. Documentation can exist in many forms. It could be help files, manuals, project documents, wiki pages, Google search results, meeting recordings, company websites, other websites. So these are all the places in a corporate setting that you could find documentation to help you do your research before you know how to document requirements. When you think of how to document requirements, you first need to find out what documents already exist and go research them. By the way, are you getting value from this video so far? Then pump the like button. Also, click subscribe and leave a comment to say I subscribe. I'll respond to the first set of people that comment I subscribe and answer any questions you might have. So go do it. I'll know if you didn't. Next, continuing on our sandwich example. So you read all the documents that exist on sandwiches and you think you have a pretty good idea what a sandwich is. But how do you document the requirements? Let's say for a new sandwich. What's the problem we're solving? Why do we need a new sandwich? So what's next? How about you figure out what the problem is? Great idea. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this project? Why am I even employed to do this? What's going on? Why are we doing this? Always ask why. Now that you've read the documentation and you understand what sandwiches are, what's the problem? Why are they creating a new sandwich? Who will buy it? And what problem does it solve for the customer? Before you run off and write requirements, and before you try to figure out how to document requirements, you need to know what you are solving for. Even if it's something that came down from the higher ups, let's say it came down from your C-level executives, your VPs, you still have to stop and question why we're doing it. You must understand the why for you to be able to write effective, accurate requirements. So the second tip of how to document requirements is to figure out what the problem is. You may have some idea around what the problem is, but you are going to have to meet with different people to be able to get validation and feedback. So from your research, from looking at the documentation, you may get an idea of what the problem might be because you understand what it is, but you need to meet with people to validate that idea and to make sure you're solving the right thing. So the third step in how to document requirements is to talk to stakeholders. My third tip for how to document requirements is conduct stakeholder interviews. So in our Subway sandwiches example, the next step would be to go to a Subway store and talk to the stakeholders. You can talk to the employee, the store manager, the customer. That way you can find out from each of their perspectives. In a corporate setting, you could talk to project manager, the product manager, and these people would give you the background for the project or the product that you're creating. You'd also talk to your internal staff and they will tell you more about the operations and the day-to-day process. You may be able to talk to the vendors or partners if that's applicable. It'd be great if you could talk to the users or the clients and anyone else who is a stakeholder. Go out there and talk to people. Don't be afraid to have a meeting. In fact, I have a video on how to conduct effective meetings and prevent them from getting derailed. Please check that out when you're done with this video. Sometimes you might have to work with a group. So it's not always going to be a stakeholder interview that's one-to-one. Sometimes it makes sense to have it in a group. So you can do a workshop, you can do ideation sessions, depending on the type of project that it is. So you did your research, you found out what the problem is, you talked to people. So what's next? How do I document requirements? Glad you asked. As you are doing these activities, you are taking notes, you are putting yourself in the place of the user or the customer, and you are understanding the jobs to be done and the user's journey. It's great to talk to people and it's great to read documents, but wherever possible, try to get your hands dirty. So my number 4 tip for how to document requirements is observation. Get out there and do. And if you can't do, then observe. Wherever possible, be the customer or the user yourself. In our Subway example, go to Subway, be a customer, watch how they make the sandwich, observe how the process works, get in the back and see what happens behind the scenes, talk and observe. In a software setting, go to the app, use the software, or watch as other people use the software to solve their day-to-day problems. Set up meetings with clients and ask them about how their usage and their pain points. Or get with the UX team or the marketing team and conduct some research from them if you're not able to access the client directly. Get up in there and get to know your users. So at this point, you've researched it, you've talked about it, you've observed it. So what's next? How do I document requirements? Hold on. Stick with me here. Stick with me. We've already come this far. Stick with me to the end. How about now we come up with some solutions? Great idea. So my number 4 tip for how to document requirements is come up with solutions, conceptualize solutions. Once you understand the domain, you know the problems, you understand the user's journey, then we can conceptualize solutions. Maybe in the Subway sandwich example, the problem was that there wasn't enough variety for the vegan customers and they wanted to provide a fuller menu for vegans. Maybe the solution could be that you've conceptualized a whole vegan menu that has vegan meat and vegan cheese and vegan bread for the sandwich. Once you come up with these solutions, you have to talk to people. You have to get buy-in from your stakeholders. You have to talk to your executives and your product managers and your project managers, and you have to let it go through the whole process. There's a whole iterative process that goes on to get sign-off for your solutions. Let's say that Subway management was all in and the executive said yes, and you should go ahead with this whole new vegan option. Guess what? Now is actually the time to go off and write requirements. You have to understand that if you try to write requirements for something you don't understand, you will fail. So my main tips for you being able to write requirements or understand how to document requirements is you need to understand the problem, you need to understand the customer or the user, and you need to understand the solution. Then writing the requirements comes easier, so much easier. You literally just need to follow a template at this point. Lucky for you, I have a template on my website, karaleise.com, for absolutely free to download. Go to karaleise.com, click on templates, and then just download the business requirements document template. It has all the sections that you need and even has an example in there that you can follow. You open up the template, you fill in the sections, then when you get to the requirements section, you break up your big solution into manageable chunks. You indent and you number, and that's it. You have your requirements. You've documented your requirements. For example, if I was to write the requirements to add the vegan sandwich to the Subway website, I would say something like this. Add a vegan sandwich to menu option. Let's say that this is a part of a whole body of requirements, and this is a second section. So I would indent and I would have my numbers and my bullet points, and I would say, let's say number 2 is add a vegan sandwich to menu options. I would say when the user selects sandwiches from the main menu, the system must show the image, the sandwich name, which is meatless vegan sandwich, and a hover over menu with view and order now as options. So view and order now are the options. And then the sandwich name 2.2 and image will be links that navigate the user to the order page. And then I'd continue about the order page, and it's probably going to be the order page already exists, so it's going to be existing functionality today, and maybe we'll have some requirements around pricing and how to update pricing, etc. So this is just a little snippet of what it could be, but writing this is going to be easier because you understand the problem, you know what you're solving for, and you've done all the thorough work to get to this point. So writing it is going to be easy, it's going to flow out of your brain quite easily. It will be much easier for you when you know what you are solving for, believe me. There are other things I didn't get into in this video, such as high-level requirements versus detailed requirements, writing the requirements in a document versus as user stories. But for that, watch the video at the end of this one, and I have so many other videos about that on my channel, so go check out my channel as well. So now you know how to document requirements, how to uncover requirements, and where to start when you get any project that lands on your desk that requires you to document requirements. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and watch this video next.